RJ. We don't have a chance if we don't learn the growing technique.
Once you all master your assigned weapon, then we'll talk. Theo.
Tonka? No sweat. I learned these bad boys my second year.
Hi.
Sweet. I'm a pro with a bow. Yeah.
And for Casey, the ancient, and if I may say, highly dangerous, Nanchukuru.
No problem. Oh! Okay, I admit it. I've never used these before.
Those are only supposed to be used by trained Kung Fu students.
Sorry, but until you're all up to speed, you can't get to the next level.
Man, just because Casey's a cub doesn't mean we should be held back in our training. It's not fair.
Hello? I'm standing right here.
I don't mean to sound harsh, but that's just the way it is.
Theo, a team is a lot like a stool. You three are the legs, all equal. What happens if all the parts aren't equal? That's right. The team falls on its butt. If the team's not ready, then none of you are ready. Namaste.
You ready? Now watch carefully. Try this. In, out, catch. In, out, catch. In, out, catch. That's it. In, out, catch. That's the way. Just like that. Okay, you're getting it. You're getting it. Yes. Now remember, it's an extension of your body, so don't think. Just flow. Go faster. Come on. Nice one. Now for some real power. Look deep inside and channel your animal spirit.
Calling on the spirit of the tiger.
That was some serious strength. You know, you're not bad for a cub.
Thanks. And you're a pretty good teacher. For an uptight, egocentric neat freak.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being neat.
Hi, my name's Dan Schmidt from the Chinese Martial Arts Center in Seminole. Today in this clip, we're going to be discussing various staff grips. Okay, so with the staff, what technique you'll be doing determines what kind of grip you'll have. Okay, the most basic grip is this one. Okay, this is called the yin and yang grip. So one hand is up, one hand is down. Okay, usually the way it is, this hand will be at the waist or somewhere near there, very close to. Okay, and then you want to twist out and have the front end higher than the back end. Usually no higher than your own head level. Okay, so this way. Another type of grip is the overhanded grip, also known as the thumb-to-thumb grip. You want to slide out a little wider than shoulder length. This grip is usually used for different strikes of this nature, keeping the fingers clenched together. Same thing with the rear hand, keep it at the waist. Also from here you perform different, what's called flowers, the different techniques like this, or different sorts of strikes. Okay, sliding, striking, also hitting low. Now when you hit low, you use this type of grip. Okay, this is called the duck's head because it resembles a duck's head. Okay, so when you strike low like this, you want to keep this hand right to the solar plexus and you want to dip your elbow down. Keep it close to your ribs. Okay, so it's used like this. So if I was going to just step in, see I can hit low like this. Okay, now it's very important that this hand is in the proper place because if not, like if he does it wrong, okay, it won't be as tight as it's supposed to be. So if I'm fighting, I want to strike down, see I can strike him straight down there. And his staff will hit the ground, then he's open for attack. But if he does do it properly and he's here, see I can hit the staff, doesn't really go anywhere. Okay, and then he can come in and strike at me various ways. Those are some basic staff grips. Performing the pressing block. Okay, so with this type of block, you want to start with what's known as the yin and yang grip. So you want one hand upward, then your rear hand downward. Okay? So it's very simple. So start from this sort of position. You want to pull the staff back slightly. Now bring the rear hand up, twist your body over towards the corner, and smack the staff down. The left hand, you want to keep it close to your armpit or your shoulder, either one. Okay, so you're here. So this hand's down, this hand's up. Slide, come straight over, smack down to the corner. Okay, so once again, you're here. Pull, slide, smack, and twist out. Okay, don't lean too far forward and don't stand too straight up. You want to lean just naturally. So you want your fist about here, and this fist still in line with the hip, this one near the shoulder. Okay, so it's used like this. So if they thrust inward, you come straight across, smack down. So once again, so we thrust in, here, smack. That's how you perform the pressing block. You'll be performing the upward strike. So you want to start with a yin and yang grip. So you want your right palm facing up, you want your left palm facing down. Okay, so start this way, where the front of the staff is about the same height as your head. Okay, what you're going to do, just start from a natural stance this way. You want to pull the staff back as you lift up the leg, go back around the body so this hand is forward. Now as you're stepping down, bring the staff out and then twist the hand up. Okay, roll the staff over your forearm and your wrist. Make sure your fingers are gripped tightly, don't stick your fingers out. Okay, so the action is here. So once again, so you're here. So you want to pull back, twist up, rotate the staff. Now once it starts coming forward, this is where you step. Step down, twist in. Keep this hand tightly on the hip, it's going to give you a lot more power and a lot more control. Twist the shoulders out, but keep the body relaxed. Okay, this is how it's used. So we're fighting, he wants to thrust in. Okay, so I block back, step out of the way, here, smack, right on the inside of the jaw, this way. So once again, so he thrusts in, so block, smack. Once more, he thrusts, block, smack straight in this way. That's how you perform the upward strike.
Now we're going to learn some basic level strikes. First strike we're going to practice is the overhead front strike. I'm going to show it to you from a couple of different angles, then we're going to break that down. Right, overhead front strike. As you notice, we're landing in our long front stance. Now let's get started. We have our normal hold. One palm is up, one palm is down. We're breaking the bow into a third. We bring up one knee, the knee that's going to be landed in front, which would be the right knee in this situation. As we bring the knee up, we prepare the bow on our shoulder by making it completely parallel to the ground. Knee comes up parallel to the ground. Knee comes up parallel to the ground. What we're doing is we're lining up the edge of the bow, the end of the bow, to our striking point, our striking target. We set forward as we complete our strike. Notice what happens here is the back tip of the bow is going to travel across and down and hit our striking point that we set up for ourselves. As we strike, we don't just keep our hands in thirds. We take that front arm and twist it. And we twist the bow to where instead of the bow facing us, we twist it outward. And also, our left hand slid down to our pocket as we did the strike. So watch this very closely. Knee comes up, strike. Again, knee comes up, twist the hand, slide it down. I'm in a good long front stance. I'm striking out. The bow is at an angle. It's not too high. It's not too low. My elbow's out slightly. I'm hitting the target. My target is about nose level right now. I could change my target range to anywhere I want. Remember, where I set up by bringing the knee up, that's telling me where I'm going to do the strike point. Next, let's look over the 4-point strike. This is often done after the overhead front strike. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the 4-point strike is pretty straightforward. It's up, down, side to side. Couple of key points here though. You want to focus all your attention on one spot. Remember, we talked about focusing on where the tip of our bow was, that's where our overhead front strike is going to land. Well, wherever you land at your overhead front strike, that's where you want to complete your 4-point strike. 1, by bringing my arm up. 2, bringing the arm down. 3, swinging across. 4, swinging across. Now let me give you a look on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice how I keep this elbow up very straight. I keep it up high and level. If I do this here, I don't have very good control. I'm not going to keep the bow parallel to the ground. So all 4 points hit the same spot. If you need to practice in a mirror, just focus on your 4-point strike always hitting 1, 2, 3, 4, the same spot. Next, let's work on the overhead rib strikes. Generally, we do overhead rib strikes in a horse stance, okay? We have the bow in thirds over our head. We come down and across by swinging the bow inside, getting prepared, completing the strike. The strike comes around and through, hitting the attacker or the opponent's ribs as we finish at our own rib. Overhead rib strike, overhead rib strike, overhead rib strike. Notice that I bring it up over my head. I keep it parallel to the ground. I come back. Over my head, parallel to the ground. I come back. Let's take a look again. Parallel to the ground, over my head. Okay? That's the overhead rib strike. Now let's look at the front thrust. The front thrust is a power move, often done at the end of a combination. Let's look at the front thrust. The front thrust itself is very important to prepare for. By bringing our knee up, we're preparing for the front thrust. Our bow is prepped in a horizontal manner. We're actually going to draw it back. Now be careful when you're drawing this back. Make sure you have nothing behind you. If you have limited space, you can do a small drop back, but a nice full drop back. What happens here is we take our back arm and we let it straighten all the way out. Letting it straighten all the way out with a good parallel bow to the ground. Stepping out in a long front stance, all we do is transfer that energy. We transfer that motion from the left side all the way across to the right side. By completing a good long front stance and a front thrust, we're going to have a strong parallel stance, strong knee bent, back leg is straight. Notice my elbow is up. I'm still gripping the bow at the end, striking straight forward. Okay, that is the front thrust. Right, the last technique we're looking at is the uppercut. The uppercut, let's take a look here. Uppercut is fairly straightforward if you've done uppercuts before in boxing or sparring of any sort. The uppercut, we're in our normal hold in a third. We step out. We could be using more of a cat stance or even a back stance. We draw the bow under and come up, curling it forward. The bow finishes at more of a 45 diagonal and the hand stays in the normal hold rather than sliding it way down. We keep it in the normal hold. Swing across. What I like to do at the end of the uppercut is rather than just using my arm and doing this curling motion, rotate your hips and your body into the end of the uppercut. It's going to make for a more dramatic effect. It's going to be more powerful, of course, in a striking situation. And that's a tip I have for the uppercut. And those are our basic level strikes.
Faster, Casey, faster! You'll never master the shark technique at half speed.
I'm trying! Are you spinning or is it just me?
Soon you will know everything there is to know about the shark technique.
Master, I won't disappoint you.
No. No one likes to be disappointed. And hopefully, these won't disappoint you.
Shark savers. Slam.
You get the real ones when you master the technique.
Teach me.
Faster, Casey, faster. Yes. Power of the shark.